to Balance Living with Dr. Marissa.
Promise you joy in the mystery.
Dr. Marissa, also known as the Asian Oprah. Her mission, to be a beneficial presence on the planet. Her purpose, to be your personal advocate to live, laugh, love, learn. Her life motto, don't die wondering. Take back your life with Dr. Marissa Pei.
And welcome. You're tuned into Take My Advice. I'm not using it. Get Balanced with Dr. Marissa, the morning show here on NBC News, CNBC News, and NBC Sports radio station, KCAA, AM 1050, FM 106.5, home to the Asian Oprah, and streaming everywhere. iHeartRadio, Spotify, Stitcher, iTunes, TuneIn, Amazon Music, Audible, Tiki Live, Rumble, JioSaavn, Podchaser, and more. Why so many places? I want to maximize my splatter zone for more hope and happiness. So there's no gossip on the show, no scandal, no K words, no Kanye talk at all. Instead, I want you to focus on your own reality show and how you can be happy 88% of the time. Why not 100%? 100% happy, you're dead. We don't want dead people walking or watching. So I want you 88. 8 is a lucky number in Chinese. It's a homophone for good fortune. And that is your birthright. Double good fortune for happiness. So I have topics and guests to that end. If you missed my great interview with Dr. John Gray, mega super bestseller of Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus, his new show, Beyond Mars and Venus. I was fortunate to have a lovely lunch with him and his new wife, who is Chinese, and my daughter, who speaks Chinese because she took it in college, and it was lovely. So if you would like to hear any of his past 3 interviews on my show, please go free subscribe to my YouTube channel, and you'll get an alert every weekday morning for this show. And today is a very special show again. Another great speaker from Secret Knock. I have to thank Greg. He doesn't charge me finder fees for all these amazing people that I get to meet, including myself that has been on his stage. I didn't have to speak this year, so I just got to meet, greet, and interview backstage. In our case, James, ours was in a little corner alcove that had the best sound for the sound bite. And I am going to welcome James E. Dixon. You'll know him as Superman4Real on Instagram and everywhere else. Please welcome to the studio, James E. Dixon. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. Listen, I couldn't be happier to be with the Asian Oprah, Dr. Marissa. You're phenomenal every single day.
Oh, I so appreciate that. I am so delighted to. It's so funny because I've had a packed schedule and I get a message from him that says, "Did you forget about me?" Because I made sure that I got all of his information and I wanted to definitely have him on the show. And then he's like, "Did you forget?" And I'm like, no, of course not. And I am, I'm going to use my, you know what? I'm going to do this a little different. Before I formally introduce you, what I would like to do is have breakfast. And I ask my guests to join me with my listeners and watchers. If you're streaming in, you know, you can catch this live to comment and also to have breakfast with us, taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich. And what that means is the top of the bun is 8 specific things that you are grateful for first thing in the morning. So instead of, scrolling, death, doom, meaningless scrolling, I like to set your day with what do you like about life instead of what's wrong with life. So I know this is going to be so easy for you, James, but we're going to go tag team back and forth real quick. What are you grateful for? So I'm going to start. I'm grateful for hot water in my shower in the morning. What are you grateful for, James?
I am grateful for the ability to walk.
And we're going to get that for the details on that one during the interview. I am grateful that I'm back on my Love My Body project 5.0 and did my 40 minutes of cardio in the gym this morning. I took a weekend off to enjoy Mother's Day up in San Francisco, my daughter's treat. So I am back on that treadmill or on the bike. I'm grateful that
So I'm grateful for the opportunity to go in and lift heavy things and then put them down.
I am grateful that because the show's been on 11 years, I am grateful that people were wrong who said that a show about hope and happiness would not last.
I'm grateful for my children.
How many do you have?
I have 3. My oldest is my daughter, and then I have 2 boys.
Nice. And how old are they?
25, 17, 16.
Wow, that's so cool. You look like a young dad. That's great. I am grateful that I have 2 daughters that are 25 and 23 who just gave me the best Mother's Day weekend ever.
Wow. So I'm thankful for hats being the new version of hair.
That's a great one. That's a great one. I am great. This is the last one. I think we're doing an extra, actually. I am grateful that the planets did not crash into each other last night so that we have another day to laugh, love, learn, hug, respect, innovate, create.
And my last one then is I'm grateful for the power of relationships because it brought me to you.
Oh, and now we go to the bottom of the bun. I like that so much. I'm going to do this. I think I've never had a compliment said like that so well. So I'm going to mark that. Do you love his smile? I mean, you've got that. He had me at a smile, to be honest. So you have the best smile of anybody I know. That's the compliment. That's the compliment. All right. We got a love fest here. We better knock it off, or your wife's going to be calling in a second. She's lovely too. I'm glad that I think I got to meet her, right?
No.
That wasn't your wife? Oh.
No, that was just someone I was sitting with at the secret knock.
Oh.
Yeah. I didn't even know that person. People were sitting around me. But I know people were asking me like, "Hey, who's that?" And I was like, "She was in the movie Black Panther." I just happened to meet her there.
Oh, I didn't know that. I don't know if well, then maybe I didn't meet her. But anyways, all right. So now we go to the bottom of the bun. Moving off that quickly. The bottom of the bun is, what do you like about yourself? And this will be also an easy one for you because I'm preaching to the choir as far as I believe that the cornerstone of good mental health is self-approval, self-love, self-care, and self-soothing. So I do this on purpose to work the muscle of those who are unfortunate enough to listen to me every morning now, to work your muscle of self-like. So what do you like about yourself? So again, 8, we'll do tag team. I appreciate about myself that I am very easy to laugh. I love to laugh. It's my favorite sound, and it comes very easily.
I love my disability. I love it.
Okay, and that is what we're talking about today. I love the way you just said that. I love that I am resilient. that no matter what happens, I bounce back or come back and I am able to say, I can't wait to see what good comes out of this, even when it feels like crap when it's happening.
And I love my ability to be able to go and encourage people, believe in them until they can believe for themselves.
I appreciate that I get to, I have no fear to ask questions, to learn new things, and to admit that I don't know everything.
So I love the fact that I am living my dream.
Hmm. I appreciate my ability to be grateful and put on a life jacket with a silver lining every morning.
I love the
Last
fact that
one.
I'm gifted with a voice that people can remember.
And that is it, folks. You've just had breakfast, taking a bite of my gratitude sandwich with my guest today. His name is James E. Dixon. He is known as Superman4Real. And we're going to just give a little affirmation for all of you who just had breakfast. I hope it was easy on your stuff. And now, James, I was just looking for your bio and I actually didn't get one from you. So I'm going to do this thing that I normally do, which is I don't have a questioning, I don't have an answering machine. I have a questioning machine. And when you call me, it says, who are you and what do you want? So, James E. Dixon, who are you? And what do you want?
I am the absolute motivator. I'm someone who has overcome tragedy from childhood. I've had 33 surgeries before I was 11. And after a while, that became my norm. I was told I would never walk. I was called a cripple. And then I turned that challenge, those words, into something that was powerful. Now I speak all over the world. I travel. I encourage people. And in less than a year's time, I went from being called Superman as a superhero to actually having a cartoon where Marvel made I am a superhero. So if you were to ask me, I'm the absolute motivator who happens to be a real life superhero. Uh-oh, you're on mute.
Oh, yeah, I just saw that. It's not easy to mute me too. So that was, one of those rare things that happens. I hope you enjoyed it. All right, now let's go break all that down because that was a lot. You actually, the first thing that you completely blindsided me with, which I love, is he said, "I love my disability." And that is something that I absolutely 1000% support and love hearing because most of the time you hear people complaining about whatever circumstance they're in, whatever condition that they're in. And you, sir, are my poster child for someone who takes something that is very difficult and dark and turn it into light and help. And for that reason, sir, and you'll hear about this all through the rest of the interview, but I'm just going to give it now because I'll forget. My memory is not what it used to be. I need more disk space. I'm still waiting for, someone to give me a hard drive for my brain. But because of the work that you do as an amputee who loves his disability, I'm giving you Dr. Marissa's Beneficial Presence on the Planet Award. And I do not give that to every guest that comes on. So I hope you
I'm honored. Thank
that.
you. Proud to receive that.
All right, let's go back. How old were you when you realized that you were not like everybody else? First surgery, in other words.
My first surgery was 90 days old. And so that was the first one. And then every 6 months until I was
Every 6 months. So you were born. Did they have a condition that they called it?
And this is what's amazing. My family found out what my condition was only when I was 11. Everything that they had been doing was trying to find the reason why I had poor blood circulation, why parts of me were dying. Um, and once I got to 11, I got to the Shriners Hospital, is when my family found out what my issues were. Until then, it was all speculative.
Wow. And what was that condition that Shriners was able to call it?
I had poor blood circulation. As a
That's it.
result of it, that's it. I was, as a result of that, my right side was dying.
So because there was not enough blood, therefore oxygen, your body parts were dying, and so they
Right.
amputated your leg, right?
Right. Yes.
And
Right
any
leg.
other. I'm sorry.
They amputated my right leg and they did surgeries on my right rib cage.
At what age?
11 is when they did the leg. I was 3 months when they did the surgery on my rib cage.
Wow. So you 33, I believe you said, surgeries by the time you were 11. And then once they figured out the circulation was the issue, were they able to, how did that get resolved? Or you still have that?
No, that was the resolution, was the amputation by taking off the part of my body that was dying. And there was so much scar tissue and other things. There was no way to salvage anything. And so I didn't take my first steps until the amputation without any assistance. I could walk without a brace, walk without some crutches, or just be able to live life without limitations.
So when you, interesting though, that when you had the physical leg, you couldn't walk. It was only after you amputated the leg that you could walk. Wow, that's a mind blower right there. Now, the part that I was stunned when you spoke from Greg's stage at Secret Knock, and that everybody went, oh, was what your mother told you at age 11, right? Is that okay?
That's right.
Go ahead. Tell us what she said. Was it before or after your leg was amputated?
No, everything was after, immediately afterwards. So my mom her goal and idea was to always prepare me for life, that no one was going to hand me anything or be given anything. So tough love was what she wanted to give me. And so when the nurse was telling me after the amputation that I'd be able to do everything every other kid could do, I'd finally be able to live out my dreams. My mom, being new and only having seen the limitations I've lived with, thought it was unrealistic and said, you'll never be able to do those things. You have to use your mind because you're a cripple. Do you understand that? And when I look back at the nurse, Mom got upset with me, said, I'm your mother, I'm telling you. You're a cripple. Do you understand it? And the more she said it, and then when I didn't say it back, she slapped me until I did repeat it. One of the greatest challenges at that time was letting hope die, because the idea that was planted in my head that I could do everything now, and now it's been slapped out of me.
And I had a mom like that too. In her, that she didn't do it to hurt you, just like mine didn't. In her mind, she was helping you. And my mom would say, I'm your mother. It's my job to tell you the truth. So I think they went to the same mom school, right?
Yeah.
And so I kind of teared up when you talked about that, because for years I was so angry at her. How could a mother say that? But I'm guessing that you and I both have come to that point where that's the best they could do. And they did, in their of hearts, think that they were being of service or helping us by telling the truth. So I hope if you're listening and watching, we are streaming live from my YouTube channel, which is my show Central. We are on KCAA, NBC News Radio, on AM 1050, FM 106.5. If you're driving, please do not stream live and type. But when you land, you can certainly go to my YouTube channel, LinkedIn, or Facebook. And today we do have a very special guest. His name is James E. Dixon. He's known as Superman4Real. And we're talking about the incredible true life story of what he's had to come through to get to the other side, and certainly being an example of it's not what happens to you, but what happens for you and through you to get you to where you are, where he loves his disability. So your mom tells you you're a cripple, slaps you until you say it back to her, and then what happens?
Well, then that's when I decided to swallow a big case of Prove You Wrong. My grandmother and mom had always been the two bookends in my life. Grandma with the absolute nurturing side, mom the tough love, strong one, right? But I wanted to prove them wrong. I thought that if I did achieve things, if I did get active in sports, if I made basketball teams, if I did all these things, that validation would come. But I've learned validation doesn't come without. It comes from within.
Amen to that. One of my favorite sayings is an African American saying that says, when there is no enemy within, no one outside can hurt you. And that is exactly what you're saying. So you went out, how'd you say it? Big dose of Prove You Wrong. I love that. Yeah, I'll show you. I became a model to show my mom that I was not fat, ugly, and clumsy. Right? But I never believed it. I could not give myself that. I was on that track of prove you wrong, even if I can't see it myself. And and going to the tractor for milk, right? Trying to get validation from somebody that's never going to be able to give it. And what was that turning point for you where you went, aha, I don't give a flying fork through a rolling donut what other people think. It's more important how I see myself.
Well, I wish that I could have said that happened immediately, but it didn't. I learned that carrying that chip became weighty. Anger was eating me up, trying to prove them wrong. I wanted them to have a moment where they break down and go, I was wrong. I should have never said that about you. You are phenomenal. You're amazing. That doesn't happen. In fact, when I went back to the validation and said, see what I've done? They say, well, I knew you could do it all along. Oh. And so they never give you that validation. So for me, the switch was when I stopped looking for validation and I validated myself. And for me, that happened at age 45. Donning a pair of shorts and walking unashamedly in all of my challenges, all of my disability, and declaring that I am who I am and I am loved as I am, that was my switch. The chip became something I consumed, and it became, that's my beauty, that's my love, that's my purpose.
Did you do that on your own? Did someone help you? Did you watch a program? What was it?
This literally was a culmination of all these encouraging people that had been speaking. When you look back over your life, there are breadcrumbs of situations, scenarios, and people who said positive things about you. The stuff that when people would compliment you, perhaps when you were young and say you're beautiful, and because of the negativity and things that you had heard, or even self-images, the body dysmorphia you had, often is said that the gifts are blind to the person that has them, right? And so here you are, and you realize that, these people were right. I am unique. I am wonderful. I am lovable. I am significant. And now I believe it for myself. It's not the hints that I got from everyone else. It's the way that I've learned to see me.
Yes. I can, as you were saying that, I'm going through my Rolodex of the past people who who have those breadcrumbs that I ate. And the strongest one is my big brother, my teacher, Michael Bernard Beckwith, who saw me. And you had mentioned early, that I will see you as you are until you can see yourself, something to that effect, right?
That's right.
And he definitely did that. And then, I would say, guess what happened? He'd go, yeah, I saw that, or I knew that would happen. And for him, I would believe, right? Not the people who put me down necessarily, or all of that. So tell me how Superman came about, because that's like pretty cool. You're in a more, is it, anyways, you explain it. So I'm not going to guess.
Okay, so my whole life, I somehow become a Superman fan, and grandma would buy me Superman things. In fact, I have photos before I lost my leg, but my belt buckle was Superman, and as you can see, but Superman was not about the cartoon. It was about the idea that I had a kryptonite in my disability, but that didn't stop me from being able to be super. My abilities had nothing to do with that. All I had to do was learn to overcome the one thing, my disability, and learn to use it. Now I realize that's actually my superpower. And as I began to be comfortable, and I shared that, they began to see me lift weights, do things, and the things that I took for granted that I had learned to do. Other people saw it and thought it were pretty amazing that I could do it with a prosthetic. And as a result of that, they find me off of the Instagram. And as you can see, the guy with the hat on, yeah, that's me.
Oh, wow. Can
I
you
am
tilt your camera up, James, for me? Because we're losing some of what you're, shift the camera so
ta-da!
that your head's in the middle.
All right, how
Yeah.
about that? There we go.
Up a little more, because I couldn't see your dog tag too. There you
Oh,
go. Yeah, there we go. Now show the cartoon again.
yeah, the cartoon is actually, there you go.
There
The
you go.
cartoon is a non-violent, anti-bullying character made to encourage kids with disabilities that you can do anything. And so literally, that's just taken my mantra and turned it into a person.
So is that your comic book that you?
No. That's actually Marvel that made that. It's not
Wow.
my. I'm an actual cartoon character drawn by Marvel Comics.
Wow, that is so cool. And that just came from them seeing you displaying yourself unashamedly, as you said, with your
Yeah,
prosthetic.
me
And
embodying
they
me embodying
contacted
the
you.
whole spirit of there are no limitations for us.
So, and they contacted you and said, could we draw you?
Absolutely. And
Wow.
first, I just thought that was just flattering, and then when they sent me an image of it, I just thought that was pretty amazing. And so
Did you get emotional? I would have
I
got.
did because uh, that showed me that everything that I ever envisioned, everything I dreamed of, had come into fruition, and it all happened in a 10-month time frame.
Wow. So 45. How old are you now?
I'm
Can I ask?
49.
You're 48.
Yeah,
So
I'm
4
49.
years ago. So 4 years ago, you stopped going to the tractor for milk, and you stopped trying to get validation from people you couldn't get it from, right?
That's right.
And you see yourself as you truly are. And then in 10 months, you get a Marvel comic character that is you, which is crazy, which is great. And I'm happy. I honestly, this part of the story, I wasn't sure about. So I'm glad that that's why I do the show. I don't want to hear about it ahead of time, because I love it fresh. So that's so cool. Like I said, you're here because of what I heard from stage, which wasn't even that. It was what your mom said to you and your smile. That's what got you on the show. But okay, so in 10 months, you have this now, like, OMG, I'm a superhero. I'm a Superman is for real. Then how did that translate to motivator Like,
Wow, that's it.
I'm-
Yeah. Well, here's how that happened. I would be walking around, coming in and out of the gym, and I would be speaking, encouraging people, even privately, that were in hospitals. And I started recording those and sharing them on YouTube. That's Absolute Motivation, our YouTube channel. And in a short period of time, we grew to 1.4 million people, over 122 million views of my videos. My
wow.
team is just three of us that have put that together. One is the creative guy, the other is the editor, and I'm the keynote speaker.
Wow. Let me see. I'm looking at it now. I'm going to share this so
Oh,
that
oh, please do.
here we
Nav
go.
and Azim are my brothers. What we built here and what we're building is a community of encouragement, of inspiration,
You know, because
where
everyone
people can go
should be
and find
harmless, virtuous.
everything.
You shouldn't do anyone any harm. You should sheath your compassion.
Do we want to listen to this? Do you?
Well,
Do you
I tell you what, if you click to go to videos, click on the one from yesterday, move
okay.
to the 5 minute and 30-second mark, and I think you start with me.
This one, the one from 12 days ago. This
No,
one.
if you click videos, it'll bring you to the most current in the tabs.
Latest. Okay.
Yeah,
This one.
right. Yes,
This
I
one?
think so.
Okay.
And then if you fast
So
forward to the
let's-
5 minute mark,
It's everything you
5:30.
wish for. Your site traffic
First, I
is
got to get through the
skyrocketing
ads.
until
God love the ads, but hey, it's free, right? 5 minutes
To settle for less.
420.
5 minutes and 30 seconds.
Wake up one day, 1 week, 1 month, 1 year down the road and go, man, I wish I would have listened to my gut. I wish I would have done this thing. You don't want to live in regret. If there's something you want to get done in work, in relationships, school, whatever it is, do it.
You have to start living your life in expectation. You have got to start expecting great things to happen for you in order for it to happen. If you live your life in expectations, that's what happens to you.
And usually, let's see here. I think you'll love this one coming up.
You began with a dream, a vision of where you could be. You've gotten a measure of success, but now that success has become a trap because you're addicted to what you've been. But that's not all that you're capable of. That's not all that you have to offer. That's not all that is within you. You've got to be willing to keep evolving, keep changing, keep developing. When they close out one door, you have to realize that a house is made of many doors. So open the next door and see what's behind it. And if you have to take down walls in order to expand your reach, your realm, your gifting, your talents, then do so. But keep evolving.
Turn your wounds into wisdom.
So that gives you
You will
a
be
nice-
wounded many times in your life. You'll make
And-
mistakes. Some people will call them failures. But I have learned that failure
entertaining and encouraging.
Wow, that is so cool. So this is now a whole channel full
Yes.
of videos that motivate people.
That's right.
Wow.
And
And
you'll
this is
see-
your channel.
Yeah, this is myself, Naveed, and Azim. The three of us make up Absolute Motivation. And I'm the absolute motivator. I'm the voice behind it.
Fantastic. Well, if you ever need a female voice,
Hey, I got you.
you know I'm here.
Yeah,
you know
you
that's
do.
what I do.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm doing now is building that tribe because there needs to be new voices. When I used to listen to all these guys who've always been here, many of them were saying different things than what I would say. And so when I began to speak it, when I'm not on the video, we didn't have as many views. But when I come on, we would double it. And people would search it out. And that's how, in short period of time, people began to know my name. And I began to be sought out as a speaker because of how we had grown. I had idolized and looked up to people like Tony Robbins. And then in 10-month time frame, we doubled him in views and captured and caught him in subscribers.
That's fantastic.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah, that is great. That is great. So What would you say is the one thing that keeps people from wanting more?
Well, I would say the reason why is we grow accustomed to a palate, right? We taste and we know one thing. And so when someone says, I think you would like calamari, it's like, I never heard of it. Sounds funny. I don't want to try it. It's got tentacles, it's got this. And so you can't try it because you've only had a Dairy Queen life, right? And so if someone wants to offer you something that's different, you have to be willing to open up your mind. And so I know this one thing. And so I hold on to it because I can trust it. I know what to expect. But the unexpected occurs if I were to shift. But if I shift, it also alienates and everyone that I've known because my circle was so small. It's also that most people enjoy the immediate gratification of right now. That's why fast food is so exceptional and so sought after. But if you can learn to delay, if you can have gratitude and have gratification be delayed for a moment, you will find that you will get things that are worth having. Steaks beat fast food. A meal that is prepared at home beats fast food. But it takes time to create that. It's not instant, but it's much more rewarding, and it increases the quality of your life. So most people, we settle for the instant because we don't want to wait on the thing that will give us gratitude.
Yeah. Very, very true. And then talk about now. Okay, just as a motivator, this is for us, right? Are there days when you just do not feel like your talk? Like, are there days that you do begin to, not be real happy? Like 88% of the time, I'm real happy with, I love my work, I love my life, I love everything that I do. 12% of the time, there are days that I'm like, you know what? It sucked what I went through, right? Or it sucked that, my divorce cost me so much money, right? It sucked, that I didn't have a mom who was unconditionally loving. So, and I do let myself, I used to push all that away because it was, and then I began to feel like I was a hypocrite or an imposter syndrome. So I'm going to flip it around and say, us motivators, what tools do you use to get yourself out of that funk? Or do you let yourself funk?
Right. Well, for me, there are a couple moments that come up. Every February 12th is a difficult day for me because it would have been my grandmother's birthday. And as much as I know I loved her and I know she loved me, I find that day to be the most challenging emotionally for me because I wish she were here. And so I go to the grave and I allow myself to grieve. And then I remind myself she would be so proud of me, but it still takes me a moment. It still takes me an hour. And because I don't pull away from people at any other time, on that day, I have to allow myself to go through that. Because not only are we just human, but this human experience is full of trials and challenges. The days when my kids are maybe not on their best behavior, or that my relationship is going through challenges, those things happen no matter how powerful and how impactful you are, because sometimes they can even feel like you're always serving the rest of the world, but what about me? And so then you have this challenge of, how do I serve those who are immediately around me, but also serve the talent, the gift, and my calling? And so, yes, we go through those things. But at the end of the day, we're a culmination of all of that. And it's because of those things, because of what you overcome, that you have fuel to keep going. And so when people see you, you don't look like what you've been through. You look like where you're going.
Ooh, Ooh, drop the mic on that one. I'm stealing that. People don't see what you're going through. They see what you're going towards, or what you've gone through, but what you're going towards. I love that. Love that. Love that. So I'm going to go back another time to, you said 45. How long, and your kids are older. So you were married before you had that aha. And if I have friends who are amputees. I have a beautiful woman I want you to meet, Jessica Cox, who was born without arms. And she and I actually toured in China right before COVID on a speaking tour, and we are hashtag limitless women, right? Because Nick, the guy with no arms and no legs, is hashtag limitless. So you have one leg off. So we got to figure out another. Well, you already have. Superman is for real. But I mean, I think the four of us could do something together.
We could do something amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
I toured with her because she's physically challenged. I'm emotionally and mentally challenged based on my upbringing, right? That her mom was very supportive. So she didn't have that emotional challenge, but she had the physical challenge. So one of the things that happens to many people who have a physical they have a physical disability. They're not disabled. They're people with a disability. So when it comes to dating and getting married and finding someone who loves them, not in spite of, but as they are, right? Did you have some insecurities, or, tell me about your love story with your wife? This is the same woman that you're with?
No.
Okay. Well, tell me about that.
Going into all that, and like, no, none of that is true. I don't know where you got that from.
Oh, okay.
So for me,
no. It's not that I got it there. I'm
being funny. But I went through. I didn't believe anybody would love me, and so I got married when I was very young. I was 20, turning 21, and I just didn't believe that with my disability, anybody would love me. And so I married a lady that was older than I was and already had 2 kids. And I didn't pick her, she picked me. I didn't believe that I had options. I didn't believe that anybody would accept me. My biggest fear was that I'd have children that wouldn't have legs. And I didn't really want that. I struggled. Trying to date as a teenager, I was rejected by everyone because the girls would say the guy with one leg. That became in the neighborhood I was in, it wasn't accepted. I wasn't embraced, wasn't coddled. I had kids who would put sticks inside of a sock and hold it up and say, "I found a leg for you." I mean, I went through being jumped by kids. For me, this was no cakewalk. I did not go through pampered acceptance. There was no silver lining. There was no relationship. They love me. I went through relationships and tried to find it in my faith, so I was married again. And so my children were born in marriage, but they were also ended up in divorced home because I wasn't complete then. I didn't know how to voice what I wanted or demand or expect. My body dysmorphia, my vision of myself made me feel like I had to settle for whatever level people wanted to love me at. And I didn't realize I was a hit song until they skipped over me a few times.
I love the way you have with words, James Dixon. I thought I was good at wordplay. You're a master. I love your analogies. So then you were skipped over by several women, and what changed that 45? Are you married now? So
here's what happened. Okay. At 45, that's when I wore shorts. that had nothing to do with you're talking about, did I get love from the outside? I'm talking about I found love
Right.
within.
Got
Yeah. So me being accepted. So then, yeah, I found love, I found acceptance, but it didn't come from them. They didn't
Right.
make me. Once I discovered who I was, then the relationship could be rewarding. And
Yeah.
so I never built it around this person. Like, so if a person leaves me or whatever, I'm not going to go through that sorrow of woe is me. I believe that I'm complete as is. People come in, they compliment my life, but not
Got it.
complicate. Yeah,
Got
I don't ever want to be in a situation again where I'm dependent upon a person to make me feel loved. I'm loving, I'm accepting, but I'm also driven and ambitious.
Yes. So are you telling me you're single now?
You're trying to get me to out here dating. I'm never single. No, I'm not single. No. I'm happy. I've got a wonderful, loving relationship. I don't want to date.
Good.
I would never date again. I'm staying in this one until the Lord takes me home. So no, I don't want anyone. I am happy where I am.
Got it. And she's your wife or your partner? I'm sorry, I'm a broadcast journalist. I ask questions.
Yeah,
I'm nosy.
like this. So I got married and I was very, very happy. And I stay in that. And so I don't have any desire to leave a relationship that is rewarding. And
Good.
so the broadcaster, if you're looking for something salacious, I'm not,
Oh,
I don't have anything.
No, not at all. James.
All
No.
I
That's
have is
nothing.
a positive, great relationship that I learned that the best way to protect my relationship is not to put everybody else in it.
Got it. And please, that is absolutely not what I'm trying to do at all.
No.
I was just confused.
You were playing matchmaker or something. You tried to put me with the girl at Secret Knock. Yeah, you're just passing. Anybody want an amputee? Like, no. This is amputee bachelor.
Let me put the moose on the table. Which is my Canadian version of elephant in the room. So I was originally just saying, did I meet your wife? That was the only thing that I was asking.
But I had other people ask that. I was like, no, these are just two people sitting beside me.
Yeah, no. That was my only thing. And then I was just getting a little excited because I thought you were single for myself. It had nothing about matchmaking. So that's the moose on the, and that is just because from where you are and what you're saying, that's where the attraction is. So it has nothing to do with making something out of something. Okay, all right. Are we good?
We're good for life.
Okay,
you're a family to me. So.
Oh, good. Oh, thank you. So, and if you've just tuned in. And you're wondering what the heck's going on in the studio today, I do have a very special guest. I met him in March, I believe, at Secret Knock in San Diego. He was on stage. His story is so compelling. If you just tuned in now, just make sure you go back and find this show. It is show number 940 podcasts. Yeah, I've been on the air now for 11 years. And 576 consecutive weeks. And I'm so grateful for that. I get to meet people who really are great examples of having difficulties. I'm glad you shared what you did about growing up, and it was no walk in the park, growing up with a disability as an amputee. And to have that all the way come around to say, I love my disability is truly inspiring. It's truly motivating. You can find him everywhere under Superman4Real. He has his own character on a Marvel cartoon. His name is James Dixon. He has a great, very popular, motivating YouTube channel called Absolute Motivation. So you can find him there. If you have any questions, please do put it in the chat. So what would you like in your final 4 minutes on my show? What would you like to share? I know there's some music that you shared with me or something to that effect yeah, please do share that.
That's so, I travel and speak places, but I always try to leave something encouraging. And so since so many people will contact me about limb loss awareness or any of the things like that, and I'm visiting hospitals always, I send out as many positive messages, but I decided to record a song, and it's called Be Healed. And then the other one is called Anything's Possible. It's available on Spotify under Superman4Real. But I promise you, if you take the time to listen, you find it to be encouraging. It's from the heart. We do it live. We record it just on one take. Whatever comes, it is. And so if it's a little long, it's because it was a live rendition.
So I'm going to see if I can find, do they have a, is it under Superman4Real?
It is. So if you see it on the Spotify and on the Superman.
It's saying, bro, I'm Superman. That's not you.
No. Superman is for real. It should pop up under that whole.
It is not. So
that song is called Be Healed. So if you type in
Be Healed, Be Healed. Okay, see if they're here. No, Eddie James. It's not coming up. But you can go look for it. I don't know if my Spotify is just not working, but Be Healed by Superman.
There's also on YouTube. You can type in Superman4Real, and it'll pop up as Be Healed as well.
Okay, let's try that one. Okay, so they can get that music. What else would you like to make sure that people know? Or are
no, just simply want to thank you for who you are and what you do. There are many broadcasters, right? But there's only one, Dr. Marissa. You make a positive impact. You do a lot of great things. I met you at Secret Knock, and I was just attendee. This coming year, though, I'll be one of the hosts, and so I look forward to seeing you and taking time to.
Yeah, well, we don't have to wait for. We don't have to wait for that. we can do that beforehand for sure.
I'll be in California and San Diego next week. So, but if there's ever a time, so I travel a great deal now. But if there's ever a time that your calendar works and you'd like to join in on our tour, as I'm traveling across the nation, we'll be in Chattanooga, Tennessee, June 9th and 10th. We have about 3,000 that'll be in the seats on each night. So total of 6,000 a week. And so none of my audiences are small. So I've been bringing some of the people from Secret Knock on tour with me, those that want to be a part of my tribe. And then I'm going to take and offer them opportunities to be on Absolute Motivation.
I'm there. I'm here for you. I love what you do. I completely support your message 1,050%. I think that it's no accident we met. I love the synchronicity. Your message is beautiful. I already gave you the award. Like I said, you had me at the story and the smile, and I really wish you the very, very best. I think that if people could really understand that this is really what life is for, and that, you take pain in life is mandatory, suffering is optional, and that every crappy thing that happens to us just chisels us into the most incredible, unique talent, gift, and ability to share with the world. And the fact that you understand what it's like to grow up being ridiculed and hurt, and you can come out of that loving yourself and wanting to help others, is truly inspiring and motivating. Thank you so much, James E. Dixon. Superman is for real. Go find him, support him, and get on board. This is Dr. Marissa reporting live. You know, it's all about balance. Peace in, peace out. World peace through inner peace. Now go and have the best day ever. We'll see you tomorrow. Straight Talk with Sam Works and Dr. Marissa.